Hello, Facebook. It is me, Nadia, coming to you with a quick live in between meetings. I tried to turn my computer down because I do have a meeting running in the background still, but I said that I would Facebook Live my DNC experience with you. So I wanted to be true to my word and make sure that I tune in every day telling you what I had been doing during the day, which is when most people probably won't be following the convention. I feel like if you're interested in the convention, you're probably going to see the broadcast at night that's going to come on local networks, probably all three major networks, along with CNN and whatever else. And try not to flash anybody, but this dress does not close very well. Doesn't really matter because I'm at home. But yes, I did get all frillied up today because I was like, I'm supposed to be in Milwaukee right now. And I am still giving myself pomp and circumstance, even if there is no pomp and circumstance to go to. But so far, it has been a pretty good experience. So I'll just give it a few minutes for people to tune in if you choose to, because I know a lot of you wanted to know about my journey. I thank all of you that supported me throughout this journey. This started in February with me campaigning through all the levels to make it to delegate at large for the state of Nevada, and it's been a fun ride. This, of course, is a disappointment not to be able to go to the DNC in person. I was glad that Donna Brazile addressed that last night on Fox News. I didn't realize she is now an anchorwoman for Fox News, or a commentator. But I have waited for so long for this moment. For those of you that have been following my journey, you know that I kind of missed an opportunity in 2008, actually, I think, when I was living in Texas, and I could have been a delegate on behalf of Hillary. So, finally getting my moment, finally making it through all the levels, and then coronavirus hits and we're asked not to go in person. This is where we are. So I had a full schedule planned today, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't tune in to the meetings that I had scheduled for. And it took me a long time to realize that the convention is streaming on StreamYard. And for some reason, my computer just does not like StreamYard, or StreamYard doesn't work with the Mac. I don't know what the disconnect is, but it took me too long to realize that's what was happening behind the scenes, because I was never sent a link. I signed up for all these things and I'm like, where's my Zoom link? And nothing ever came to my email. So I was just like, I didn't get it. So today I woke up and I went back to the schedule, and it said, watch the live broadcast here. So I click and I'm trying to watch, and my screen is frozen, and I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, I'll go to YouTube. I play YouTube videos. That works just fine. I go to Facebook, play videos. That works just fine. Go back to demconvention.com, click on the link that I want to view, and it just wasn't working. So eventually I realized maybe this is StreamYard. And then I went and opened Chrome, and then I was able to play the videos. So today I missed I think I was tuning into the Black Caucus today. I don't remember. But anyway, I say that to say, if you are trying to watch the convention and you are on a Mac, it worked on my phone, but I needed it on my computer. So if you are trying to follow along with the convention and you're trying to stream it online from the website, it is StreamYard, and it may not be working with Safari, so you may have to use Firefox or Chrome or some other browser. I don't think it works with Apple type products, but you can trick it by opening up Chrome. So there's your little tidbit. And I also say that because everything is streamed. So normally these are meetings that delegates would be going to in person, but because we are virtual now, anyone can attend. And I put the link in this chat. So demconvention.com, and then you click the link for the schedule, and you can actually see the breakdown and go to whatever meeting you want. You don't have to have a specified login. You don't have to be a delegate. They have opened it up to everyone. And it's worth it just to see what is being said for the community that most affects you. So after all of that technical difficulty today, I was able to tune into 2 meetings. I first visited the youth council meeting, and it was so encouraging. I know I sent a message to a couple of you that I know have small kids that are really being poured into. And I felt that this meeting, the Youth Council and the Women's Caucus for Little Girls, are great for young people to tune into because they're so energetic. They're so involved. It was so interesting to hear all of these young people that have a role in government, whether at the state level or at the national level. And they were just saying, you know, they started out volunteering, but they wanted to get more involved, and there would be pushback. Like, no, here's some flyers, just go door to door and hang out, you know, pass out the flyers. And this one guy was like, if I'm old enough to pass out flyers and ask people to sign your petition, I'm old enough to ask people to sign my own petition. So he decided that he was going to run. There was another young woman who decided she was going to run, and I can't remember what offices they held because I didn't write their names down, but they were just such powerful speakers, and everybody there had the message of it's not just one thing, which is what I always say. Like, there's no one way to victory. Like, it's not just about running for office. It's not just about marching. It's not just about texting and tweeting. It also takes everybody going to the polls. So they were very, very clear on, we need you to put an action behind your words. We need you to get out to the polls. There was one young woman, she looked familiar. I didn't catch her name. I think it was Megan something. And I want to say she was an actress or something. She looked so familiar. And she was talking about school shootings. And she said 2020 is the first year there hasn't been a school shooting in I don't know how many years. And she said it shouldn't take a pandemic and people being holed up in their houses for kids to not be shot at school. So she was really powerful, talking about school shootings and trying to get legislation to renew the gun laws. There was somebody else that came in and talked about climate change. This one guy was very impassioned. He talked about what many people are stressing about right now. You go to school, you do everything right, you get the education, you come out with 100,000 plus in loans, and then you go to Washington and you work for some of these legislators and senators, and they're starting you off at $30,000 a year. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, when are you ever getting out of debt? So the income disparity was huge on their agenda. Many of the kids that were a little bit older, so they were already off of their parents' health insurance, but they couldn't afford their own health insurance. So you had that bunch that was feeling that issue. So in a short amount of time, I want to say their meeting was just 2 hours. It was the Youth Council, but they packed in a lot. And then towards the end of it, Stacey Abrams came in, and she was really talking, which, you know, was my love. She was talking about the census. Everybody fill out the census. Be counted. Vote and be counted. Those are two of the ways that we can effectuate change. If you're not counted, if you're nasty to the census taker, if you turn them away, if you don't answer the questions, then your state won't have the representation and they won't have the dollars. They need to know where people are. They need to know the demographics of the people in any given region, and that's how money is allocated for hospitals, for roads, for Congress members, for the amount of Congress members that your region has. It all comes from the census, and this is only taken every 10 years. So if you're not counted, if the government is thinking based on the census that there's not a lot of old people here, there's not a lot of young people here, there's not a lot of people here, period, or they don't know the demographics of who's there, Hispanic, black, white, what agencies do you need? What do you need money for? If you're not counted, if you're not represented, then that money goes on to other places. And I assure you, there are some communities that are very in tune with filling out the census and have really encouraged their communities to fill out the census. And sometimes it is the communities of color that gets left out of this message. So I was glad that Stacey Abrams said that in her entire speech. That was a large part of what she was there to talk about. And to me, it was very powerful because it's the same thing that I try to say all the time. So I think, okay, yes. And the importance of young people being at the table. So they were encouraging young people to run for office. Don't let people tell you that you're too young to do it. If you are passionate, if you can comprehend what's going on, if you have a drive to be in government, then start running for those offices. Build your team, get your support system, and don't let people tell you that you are too young, because if young people are not at the table, you're not represented. Just like any other category, if you're not sitting at the table where decisions are made, then you are left out of those important conversations. Sorry, I saw my name in a chat because I'm still in another meeting right now. The next meeting that I went to was the Women's Caucus, and that was really engaging too. This one was a little funny because it seemed like there was no one that was saying, okay, you're on, okay, you're next. So there was a few minutes where we were watching people like do this and get themselves ready, and it's like, no, you're already on, go, you know. So it was cute, but and that's what happens when you make this virtual. There's a lot of moving parts. In these 1 and 2 hour sessions, they pack in a lot of speakers, and I'm not sure who is behind the scenes actually being stage manager, but everyone that came to this table was so impactful. The chairwoman of the Women's Caucus is the Honorable Lottie Shackelford, and she's in Arkansas. She was the former mayor of Arkansas. And she heads the committee, so we saw her several times, and I swear in the 2 hours she made wardrobe changes, which I was like, okay, that's extra. And Gwen Moore was very impactful. Most of the women that we saw were either like the first Black mayor in their town, the first Asian American mayor of their town, the first Indian to hold some office. So we heard a lot of powerful women who really broke barriers, and she was just saying that it's women that's going to lead the charge for change coming forward. Most of the women that are on any panel, they're wearing yellow because this is the 100th anniversary of the women's suffrage movement. So that was something that most people that came on the screen talked about, how far we've come in 100 years. And I was pleasantly surprised that the final speaker of this movement was Nancy Pelosi, which I didn't expect her to be there. You don't know who shows up at these meetings because I've never been in any of them before. But it was great to see Nancy Pelosi, and she was also talking about the suffrage movement and just talking about, you know, when her father was the mayor of Baltimore, she started coming to these meetings when she was 12 because Lottie asked, you know, is this your first time here? Is it your fifth? Is it your 10th? And Nancy Pelosi said, this is actually my 12th year coming to the Women's Caucus because my father brought me to these when he was mayor of Baltimore back in the day. And just saying how impactful women are. Obviously coming from Nancy Pelosi, that means a lot. She's obviously very powerful. So I really enjoyed the 2 sessions that I sat in on. I'm sorry that I missed the Black Caucus meeting earlier today, but they are actually having another session this week. So far that's where we are. Tonight is a really, really big night. Tonight is the first day of the DNC that you all will get to see if you're watching your local TV. I expect there to be some kind of pomp and circumstance, even if it's not the balloons and the confetti and all of the things that would normally happen. It is a nice lineup, ending with Michelle Obama tonight. Tonight and Wednesday night are really great. Like tonight is Michelle. Wednesday, I believe, is Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and something else. I think Bernie Sanders is also tonight for those who love Bernie Sanders and are having a hard time transitioning. This is your night. And I know that Hillary Clinton, is she tomorrow? I don't know. I've got the schedule mixed up, but it's all on demconvention.com. So you can tune into the meetings that are going on all day, every day from all the different caucuses and councils. You can just tune in at night. If you want to go through the website to tune in at night, there are watch parties that you can link up to. I know there's several watch parties going on with like the North Las Vegas Democrats, the NV Dems. Different people are having different events, so you can tune in with other people and be live chatting if you want to, or just watch it from the comfort of your home. Tomorrow, now that I've got a handle on how this is going down, tomorrow my plan is to wake up bright and early in the morning, 9 a.m. I'm going to the Seniors Council because I want to see what the seniors are talking about. They're a huge segment of our population. and there's a lot of care that needs to be given to them. There's a lot of legislation that needs to be put in place to protect them, in my opinion. One of the things that I was really passionate about when Hillary Clinton was running, because she really seemed to get it. Like, there is a huge baby boomer population that is retiring. There's a lot of younger people coming behind them. A lot of people in my age bracket are finding ourselves in the caregiver role. And one thing that Hillary was passionate about was someone like me being able to put my parents on my insurance so that they have better coverage. And I haven't really heard too many other candidates say something like that, but it's that crucial. Like, a lot of older people don't really talk to their kids and tell what the plan is, and sometimes you don't know there's a crisis looming. So just knowing that you have other options that you can put in place should you need to would be so helpful. I think if my mom had better health insurance and more options, she probably wouldn't have passed away as soon as she did. So having kind of walked that path firsthand and seeing it, I definitely want us to give more care to our seniors, not less. So I want to hear for myself from them what they are actually saying in their meeting. After their meeting at 10 o'clock is the Small Business Council. I'm going to pop in and see what they're saying, because I think we all need to have our own small business at this point. We all need multiple streams of income coming in. If the pandemic hasn't shown us anything else, I think many of us have realized that. So I want to see what's coming down the pipeline, or what the Small Business Council is fighting for. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to the Environmental and Climate Crisis meeting. Obviously, that's something I'm extremely passionate about, being a part of Al Gore's Climate Reality Leadership Corps. So I'm going to see what they are saying on a national level as a part of their council. And then there's a pre-conference party that starts at 4 behind the rhyme. I'm not really sure what that is, but it sounds like music will be involved, so I'm good with that. And then again, tomorrow night, the conference starts at 6. I can't tell you who's on the schedule tomorrow. I just know that I plan to go every day. So it really doesn't matter to me, but I know it might matter to some of you. I want to say, for those of you waiting for Kamala, she's on Wednesday. And then, of course, Joe Biden closes out the event on Thursday when he formally accepts the nomination. I cannot remember who's tomorrow. Maybe AOC. If she's not tonight, she might be tomorrow. I don't know. But I know Wednesday is a power-packed day full of powerful women, and I'm really looking forward to that day as well. But I will be there every day no matter what. So that is my schedule so far. Wednesday, I get to hit up the Black Caucus and the Ethnic Council, because I missed those meetings today. Thursday, I'm doing the Poverty Council, because I want to see what's being done for our population that's in poverty. We have too high a rate of poverty in this country. And then I'm going to a pre-party at 4 o'clock on Thursday, where they're talking about the red and the purple states. So those swing states that are on the border of crossing over to blue, I want to see what their plan is for that. So really exciting. I got a lot out of today once I could finally tune in. And again, for those of you who just might be tuning in, if you're interested in attending any of these meetings, and there's tons of them, there's a meeting for almost every segment of the population that you can think of. I just chose the ones that fit my schedule and pique my interest. But there's the Hispanic Caucus, there's the LGBTQ, there's environment, there's women's, there's Black Caucus, there's Asian American Indian, like anything you could think of that might have its own special meeting. They probably do. You just have to go and look at the schedule and see what you want to tune into. And literally, once you go to the website, you could just join the meeting in progress, click the link, and it'll take you. Again, if you are using Mac products like I do, you probably want to use Chrome or Firefox or some other browser than Safari, because StreamYard does not seem to work with Safari. But other than that, tune in. I mean, that's the one good thing about being virtual. It's not just closed to delegates. It is really open to anybody who has an interest and who wants to take part. So with that being said, I'm going to let you go. We have 40 minutes before the DNC officially starts for the general public. And I hope that all of you carve out some time to tune in, because there are great speakers. You can get convention swag, and you can see the entire convention schedule at demconvention.com, demconvention.com. So I will be back tomorrow telling you what I experienced in tomorrow's meetings, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.